Well, welcome everybody. Welcome. This is absolutely fantastic that we are all gathered together here and that we're able to come and really spend great open-hearted time with the tremendous peace building through the different projects, through the different programs that are Pathways to Peace is blessed to be able to do and have all of your participation in so many ways. And this is a very special moment to be able to learn about your experience and what you've been doing and leading the peace building initiatives in so many ways in the world. And so this is a time that we could share this together, but this recording is also going to be going on the website. It's going to be communicated to other of our partners, as well as out in our fund development efforts too. So this is fantastic. So let us begin as we do. Just take a moment of silence and just bring our energies together, bring our hearts together, bring our intentions together, and just take a moment. Take a couple of deep breaths. And bring our hearts and our spirits and our minds together. With the sharing of peace building at the highest level. Thank you very much. So let us just, we won't go into the introductions at this point, but just thank everyone to be here and also members of the directors, the Pathways directors. And we'll just proceed, and everyone who's going to be speaking about the different programs, as Tezuka has mentioned and set up, that you have up to 15 minutes to express what you'd like to express. Tezuka, anything that you'd like to express before we begin?
No, other than my heart is so full to see all of you here. It just brings tears to my eyes. So we will take just a few minutes in between for others to ask questions of the presenter. And so that's it.
Yeah,
Let's
and we
go.
want to be full and also efficient. So
Yes.
let us begin and begin with Hannah, who is in Jordan and joining us from the nighttime in where she is. So Hannah, please welcome and thank you very much for being with us.
Sure. Yeah. I'm glad I'm here to meet all of you guys, even virtually, but it means a lot to me, really. Yeah. So what do you want me to talk about?
So you are representing the Exceptional Women of Peace
Yeah.
program that
Yeah.
is so beautifully done now within Pathways, and really in
Yeah.
leadership, the acknowledgement. So whatever you'd like to share about your view of it, the effect of
Yeah.
it, and
Yeah.
your role and experience.
Yeah. In fact, I was contacted early in 2022 by Teskia and Kimberly, who Kim is the co-founder of this initiative. And they asked me to be in the leadership team and serve in the selection committee. Of course, I served a lot. I read a lot about, like any scientist, usually I have to do my own investigation. And in fact, it really attracted me so much. And I like the cause, for this program or this initiative. Which really, I think the reason it resonates really with my background, because I'm a scientist in biotechnology and biology. And in fact, when I read about the wheel of pathway to peace, one of them, which is really, I consider it's very important, is using science and technology for peace. And this is always my logo in my teaching, in my collaboration with the, scientists, with experts, with the young people, is to make science, because science has no borders. And I always collaborate with all types of people, no matter what their religion, what their race. And it really resonates with my logo and with my intention. So I was really deeply moved by the mission of the. Do you still hear me?
Yes.
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 Yeah. Okay. Of this initiative award, because it recognize and uplift the extraordinary women who have dedicated, their lives to peace building. And in fact, I like the term peace building, as David always mentioned. And I may also add, it's not just peace building, it's rebuilding, because in our part of the world, in the Middle East, we really need another also maybe distribution of the or impact of the culture of rebuilding the peace again and again and again in our countries. So I really worked on this initiative in the selection committee, and we put really very transparent and comprehensive rating tools to select the applicants. It wasn't really an easy. It wasn't like straightforward process. Because I don't know if I want to talk about maybe some challenges with that we face, like when the launch of the program was called for the awards. Usually it's like in the 8th of March, which is the International Women's Day, where the official announcement was done, and then we let the application and the nominees to be there, and we review with all the great, really, selection and leadership team in this. Natasha is one of them, and to select the finalist was really is a big challenge, because each one of the shortlisted people were really they make their own stories. I mean, it's by itself is really a case success for this peace building. So, and for example, some of the challenges we face is the reaching diverse nominees across different regions of the world. So we have to use, of course, we overcome most of these challenges. So we have to use like social media, we have to use emails sometimes, between, for example, my own colleagues. I just like promote this in different ways, in very comprehensive and convincing ways. And alhamdulillah, I will say, luckily, so many really applicants were applying, and so many people were nominating others for them. Another maybe challenge was because of the time difference. Sometimes we have really, Teskia was really doing great job to find the right time, for all of this international team to meet, because we were meeting online. So like now it's 10 p.m. in our time, and like Natasha will have a different, Jenny will have another different time zone. So that was and also a challenge. The other challenge was the language barrier, because some of the nominees, they faced challenges in filling the application and even in the interviews. So we overcome this because we provided like a multilingual support. For example, if the nominee was Arabic speaking, so I will intervene and try to translate. Natasha will use also other language, and so on. So that was another barrier. Other challenge is really the evaluation criteria, because we have like in 2023, we put these rating or evaluation criteria, and then we receive some feedback. So we have to rephrase them again on 2024 and so on. So, but luckily, we are really confident that they were really transparent, comprehensive, fair rating criteria. And in fact, when especially the interview videos, when Tiskia was interviewing these shortlisted applicants, it really touched me so much because for me, it's really a joy. I mean, I learned so much from these candidates, you know. I was really witnessing the extraordinary determination, some of them, and dedication and the courage to make or to build peace in their own countries or even worldwide. Also, I was learning about their personal journeys and adversities that they have overcome or the challenges they have overcome, even if it is political, if it is like, you know, poverty, social, economic, etc. And even, you know, the like in our countries, the stereotype about, you know, men dominating and you know, like underestimation of the empowerment of women and so on. Also, like I was really engaged with listening to these stories, you know, about the awardees and the impact they have really on their societies. Um, Also, like it's not just in their own countries because it's provided like a global platform to recognize and really elevate the work of these women, which we call them peace builders. Also, some of them, in fact, they have really tangible impact. When they had this award and they were nominated and they took the prize, when they, like, for example, one of them was from Saudi Arabia, and this recognition makes even, I mean, she's well known, but I don't know why it makes so impact on, because the press were, you know, talking about her and how this prize or award was really important, especially in peace building, especially in countries that are in conflict, like what we are doing now in our region of the world. So it fosters unity and it promotes sustainable peace, really. Also, another important thing I learned, and for myself, it's a joy. I mean, I'm glad I'm really part of this team because I could see these women how they could make a change, you know, in their society despite all the difficulties and challenges they face. So it's like contributing to a legacy of empowerment that inspires future generations of women leaders, because some of them were young women, because there were two awards, one for exceptional woman for peace and the other for the young woman, exceptional young woman for peace, 25 years of age and under. So they are really a key parameters to make change, drivers for change in their society for, as I said, future generations. And, you know, watching the recognition of these women really inspires others also to pursue peace building efforts. So it's like, you know, cumulative efforts. So so many people or so many other women will be also inspired by these awardees, and they will try to work in a coherent way to build the peace. So I will describe the impact of this initiative or program, really, that it created a global network for peace leaders. And this is a fact. I'm not just, you know, talking, just putting words. We notice it. Also, the awards provided international recognition, giving these women to share their experience and inspire, as I said, others. And many awardees also, they gain increased access to funding, partnership, influential networks, because I guess, and that might be another maybe advice for whoever is really leading the pathway to peace, that sometimes funding will really make a difference if it's available. So it's my message for the leaders in the pathway to peace to really recognize the invaluable contribution of women working to foster peace in their communities and worldwide, and to highlight the extraordinary resilience and dedication and leadership of these women, encourage young women. I always, for example, in my own experience, in my own work during my academic and also research, I always believe in the young generation. They are brilliant, really, and they could do wonders because after a while we will leave this world, and we have to, you know, give them the keys. They are the drivers for change. The hope is in them. So we have to encourage really young women and future peace leaders to engage in these peace building efforts, and also implement rigorous and fair selection process was really one of the merits in this. And I think we shouldn't just like give the award and just stay there. It should be sustainable. We require really ongoing support to expand and sustain the impact of this program or of this initiative. Because I believe strongly that women really, I mean, look at women, what they do in their own families. For example, I'm a woman that has 4 kids. All of them are musicians. I really nurture them. I give them the confidence, the support. I always tell them this message that we should all, unite together wherever we deal with, like 4 of them, 3 of them now, they are in the United States, for example. I believe in peace. I believe in no borders for collaboration. Wherever you are from, what religion are you from? And we have to really work to uh, uh, against violence, against wars. I mean, peace is really something really nice. We could do a lot. We could build our society if we really work toward the culture of peace building. And I like really the word building and rebuilding, I will say, because you cannot just you build, because sometimes if you build something, unfortunately it might fall apart, but then you have to have this culture of rebuilding. No matter what, we should have always this, and to
Excuse me,
support.
Hannah. Excuse me, two minutes, please.
Sure. And just support these women that led this initiative, that address conflict resolution, social justice, and community empowerment. I think if you leave me to talk, I will talk till tomorrow, but that's my message, and that's my strong belief in this program and this initiative. Thanks to Teskia and Kim and all the selection team, the leadership, they call us leadership selection team. We were really, as a family, really sisters, all of us. Thank you so much for giving me this
Beautiful.
opportunity to talk.
Beautiful. Thank you. So heartful and knowledgeable. And really love what you had to say and the perspective that you have.
Mhm.
So just take a moment and any questions that anyone has. So perhaps Hezekiah, you could take us off spotlight. Okay, great. Hand up for any questions. All righty. Well, thank you so very much, Hannah. Thank you for
Mhm.
being with us and being the leader that you are. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Anan, you make my heart sing. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, beautiful. Well,
Thank
let
you.
us move on. And the next to speak is Sylvanas, who is in Kindia, Guinea, and talking with us about, well, we started working with Sylvanas and his great community with creating the girls' shelter, which has evolved to now there's this peace school and a media center that is being developed. Sylvanas, welcome from the other side of the world.
Hi, David. How are you?
Excellent. Great to see
I'm
you.
so excited to be part of this meeting tonight. As you are seeing, some of my teamwork are here. You can see them around. And
Hello.
also, the girls are here. Come closer. Let them see you. The girls are here. Just wave to them.
Hey!
Hello.
Oh my
Hi.
goodness, it's so good to see you.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yay! Yay!
Beautiful.
So most of them they didn't come because of the time, and those are able to make it up. They are here with me,
Yeah.
and I would like to share shortly about what I'm doing and the origin of my project. Um, of course, my name is Sivanos Bangura, the founder of War Against Poverty, and also the national coordinator for Stop Gender-Based Violence here in Kenya. I got this passion out of what I was seeing young girls, orphans going through the street begging for food. So it's always pain me when I'm seeing this. And also in this part of Africa, in Guinea here, women are highly marginalized. They are less considered. And being in this particular place, I decided to set an organization or a project how I can able to help them out in my own little way. So this is how War Against Poverty came about. It was established in 2019. By then, I was moving with my team, going to the community to sensitize them about stop gender-based violence and also how to live in peace in the community. So by so doing, most of the girls were aware of female genital mutilation, the dangers behind it. So through that movement, I was able to host two girls who were with me for some months. But due to financial challenges, I couldn't able to maintain them. So the one went to her uncle, the other went to her friend. So I was for this fight. There I met with parties to peace. Meeting with them from there, the organization started beginning to change. And we talked with Tezikaya on how to start a shelter where we can able to call back these two girls that went away for them to be in a safer place and for them also to continue their education. So through the help of Party to Peace and Tezekaya, we were able to open a shelter, which is presently hosting now 4 girls. But in the future, we intend this year to get another 5. So actually, we are doing our best and we are working tirelessly to see that we save lives of these young girls. And on this fight, we are facing challenges. It's not easy, but we believe with all these challenges, we'll be able to overcome them. Presently, we are able to start building an orphanage school and also the peace school. We are working in collaboration with the orphanage school and also the peace school because peace is the answer, as we all have our motto here in Guinea. Peace is the answer to development. So we are sensitizing the community for them to learn how to live in peace, how to promote peace, and also how to move with peace because they're supposed to be the peace. It's not only the absence of war or conflict, but how to be in peace or how to apply peace when there is conflict or when there is war. You as a peace builder or a peacemaker, you must always try to bring peace in any conflict or anything that you are going through. So we are engaged not only to stop gender-based violence here in Kenya, but we are also promoting peace. And lastly, I spoke with Tezeka the last time. There was a girl who was abused by a man. From there, they called me. I went there to intervene. After intervening, the parents of the girl wanted to take the boy to prison, but I wanted peace to prevail. From there, I intervened. I dialogue with them. From there, they see some reasons to allow the boy not to go to prison. So I was so happy that peace prevailed. At the same time, also, I sensitized to these young boys how to live in peace and how not to abuse these young girls because they are our future. And the work I'm doing here, presently, we are doing great. As I said earlier, the Peace School is going on construction, almost to the finish. and also we are hosting these girls. I am so happy for the joy I have for changing the life of these girls, because before they were not having no hope, but for now we have changed their lives through the help of Party to Peace, Hezekiah and David and the others. They have hope now for their future. So we are really doing work here that is promoting peace at the same time saving lives. But the challenges we are facing here presently is the financial raising. When it comes to raising finance, it is very difficult here in Africa, more in Guinea. Most of the people here are in need. So to raise some funds here to do something is not really easy. So these are some of the challenges that we are facing. Presently, we are planning to build a shelter where a center where we can able to institute the girls, because we want to start a technical institute whereby the girls from school they can able to learn something by themselves. Because here in Africa, if you are educated, the government will be able to provide jobs for you. But if you have a trade or a skill that you have learned, at the end of the day, you will be a master of your own. So instead of going to a short job, you would be a master, and also you will be able to employ other girls in the place. As I'm saying, I'm talking now, there's one of our girls here. She decided to do tailoring. And I also sent some photos to Hezekiah about that girl. This is the girl, her name is Saleh Conte. She's doing tailoring presently.
Yeah.
So very soon we will see how we can able to get a sewing machine for her. After classes in the shop, she will come home and do practicals. So we are moving on. The other two are going to school, like Banks, Mariama Banks decided to continue with her school. And also Salema too
Yes,
is
Salma
also
too.
continuing
I
with
love
her
Salma too.
schooling. Yeah. And we have Nana that decided to do a nursing. She wants to become a doctor.
Yeah.
She's not even with us because she's at the hospital. She's late today. She's going to be there till 10 o'clock before coming home. So that's why she's not here with us. She's doing well, and they are doing well. They are so happy being in the center. I say. So I want to describe the work that I'm doing here, that it is a life-changing program and also a hope-giving project. We are changing lives of the girls at the same time, giving them hope, giving them a future, so that tomorrow they can live by themselves without us. When they grew, when they get married, they can live by that thing that we are giving to them. See? So one thing again, and I want you to know is this, that I have a vision that I entitled Vision 2030. In this Vision 2030, I am working on this project to make known work against poverty, stop gender-based violence, and also to promote peace in the sub-region of Kindia. Kindia has 11 sub-districts, and we are going to divide ourselves into two groups. The one group will go to the 5 sub-districts, the other group will go. But I'm working on this project. When I'm through with it, I will make this project known to you. And also in our plan, we are also anticipating to get a media center. When we have this media center, it will help us to reach out the message of peace, the message of stop gender-based violence easily in the community. Because here, most of the people can listen from radios and the TV. So having this media center is can able to facilitate our work here in Kindia. And lastly, my vision is not only to limit my work here in Kindia, but I have the passion and the determination to expand the work that I'm doing here into other African countries. Because not only Guinea, Kindia that are facing this problem, most of the countries in Africa are facing this violence against women. So we need to move out and spread the message of gender-based violence, and also we need to build peace, because peace in the community can help us to develop and can help us to stop most of the things that the boys are doing against girls. So I'm so happy to be part of Party to Peace. I'm so excited. since we came together, since we partnered together, my organization has changed for positive. Everything is moving on well. There's a great care. The girls are happy. We are enjoying with them. So I'm so very much happy with this. When it comes to joy, when I'm seeing these guys around me happy, planning their future, it gives me joy. I'm so happy about it. So bravo and many thanks to Tezekiah and her team and Party to Peace, and most especially to wonderful David for connecting me with Party to Peace. So finally, I'm happy and I can stop here for now. You are free to ask questions or to ask any point that you don't get clearly, so I can able to elaborate on it and explain it more better. So as I said, when I'm done with the project writing of Vision 2030, I will share it with you how we can go into promote peace building and also stop gender-based violence here in Kenya. So I'm working on it and I'm going to expand it. I thank you. Peace is the answer to development. I thank you all for now.
Well, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, Sylvanus. So when we first met Sylvanus, is there any question about his energy, his vision, and commitment? Just like, yes, let's go. I mean, just
Yeah.
like, no question to join in, and what a joy. And your continued leadership and working in the community. Hello, all of you. So great to see you. And thank you so much.
Sheba
So we do have a question from Sheba. Sheba, please.
Hi, Sylvanus. It's so nice to meet you. I feel like I've heard you speak before. Did Sylvanus ever attend any of our Rotary E-Club meetings?
No.
No,
No.
not yet. Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Yes, to come for sure.
Yes,
Such a
yes.
pleasure, Sylvanus. My question for you, which you may not know the answer to, so no worries if you don't. I was just wondering if the area where you are in Guinea is affected by, in particular, AIDS orphans and the cutoff of USAID AIDS and HIV medication. My nonprofit is actively seeking ways to get HIV medication to those with AIDS in Africa who are losing access to their medications right now due to the funding freezes in USAID. And I was just wondering if you're aware if that's at play where you are.
Yes, I'm aware of it. The hospital here, they are giving free medication under AIDS. So they are working on it to see how they can able to expand it to the interior, because most of this AIDS, the help that they are giving towards AIDS is only in the capital Conakry. So most of the interior, they are not benefiting this support for AIDS. So having that done with you, through you, we can able to partner together, work and see how to promote it here in Kenya and also in Guinea at large.
Mm.
Hey, thank you.
Thank
you very much.
You're
So
welcome.
beautiful. Again, thank you for your great work, inspiration, and leadership, just as evolving and continuing to evolve. So beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you, Sylvanus, and thank you for your whole community there.
Yes.
Thank you, David.
Thank you. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
welcome.
And
Yeah.
please, girls, we are so proud of you. We are so proud of your courage. We are so proud and happy about you creating the life that you deserve. So thank you for
You're welcome.
who you are.
We are so happy. We are so happy.
Yes.
Beautiful. All righty. Well, thank you. Well, let us move on just to continue the amazing understanding we're seeing in our work in the world. So I'd like to introduce now Renor Johnny. And Renor he's been working with Pathways for a number of years. He can tell you about a bit of the background, but he's been doing some really leadership work in nuclear disarmament, advocacy, and research, and particularly in Albania. And Renor, you've just been awesome in what you've been doing and the inspiration you're bringing to Albania and so many parts of the government. So welcome.
Thank you, everybody. It's really great to join everyone. I'm just really happy to hear all the progress that is being made in all of the programs. I've been with Pathways to Peace for what, 6 years now?
At least.
So it's really inspiring to see the expansion. And I know that Joni and um, our previous Pathways to Peace president, Avon, this is the vision that I'm sure that everybody who was out there at the beginning of the organization really wanted to see the expansion in so many different ways and all the pathways of peace. So I'm happy to speak more about the progress that I've been making as the program coordinator for the Nuclear Disarmament Advocacy and Research Program. At its core, the program's mission is to advocate for the abolition of nuclear weapons, to develop new research, to shift the discourse on nuclear disarmament, and to encourage the adoption of the Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons in Albania, the TPNW. So this primarily involves working alongside civil society, humanitarian organizations, parliamentarians, local city councils, and the national government. And a large part of why this program was created is after I learned about the treaty and hearing the testimonies of the Hibakusha survivors of the atomic bombings, I personally felt called to put together and propose this type of program to really expand the efforts in Albania, because at the time I didn't really hear about any organizations, or I didn't really hear about any efforts within the government to encourage them to sign this treaty. So I'm very thankful that I received approval from Avon, our previous Pathways to Peace president. And so in 2022, I led the efforts to conduct the first national research assessment on the TPNW, and 1,100 Albanian citizens from 12 regions were interviewed on their opinions on the treaty and on Albania's role in achieving global nuclear disarmament. So about 98% of citizens believed that Albania should sign the TPNW, and 90% believe that it should be one of the first NATO states to join. So the majority of those interviewed agreed that this is something that needs to happen. And the research findings were showcased in Albanian media. But besides the project itself, I have led the efforts to get 11 Albanian civil society organizations to co-sign a joint letter to 3 parliamentary committees, of course, calling on the government to sign the treaty, and they were sent to the Subcommittee on Human Rights, the Committee on National Defense, and the Committee on Foreign Affairs. I was very blessed and thankful. Later that year, I was selected by the Governor's Office of Hiroshima and the International Campaign to Abolish Nuclear Weapons, ICAN, to participate in the ICAN Hiroshima Academy on Nuclear Weapons and Global Security in Hiroshima City, where I had a chance to learn from industry experts. And more importantly, I met with the Hibakusha survivors of the atomic bombings. And I'm very grateful to many members of Pathways to Peace for supporting that and making that happen. So I'm very thankful to each of you. Thank you so much for that. And the following year, in 2023, I organized the Balkan Forum on Nuclear Disarmament. And I was fortunate to have the ambassador of Ukraine, the deputy mayor of Tirana, and the secretary general of the Red Cross in Albania as some of the speakers on that panel. And the deputy mayor accepted my request to have the city of Tirana become a member of the Mayors for Peace Network and the ICAN Cities Appeal. And this really opened up the door for me to establish a strong partnership between Pathways to Peace and the mayor of Tirana's office. And then even more, it helped to continue the work for me to get 18 additional mayors to have them join the Mayors for Peace network in 2024 and 2025. And this led to a new milestone of 1/3 of all cities in Albania to join Mayors for Peace, to publicly support nuclear disarmament, and to call on the government to sign the treaty. And this created an important shift because this helped increase the support for the treaty. And this was a stark contrast because before then, there were only a few elected officials at any level of government to support this treaty. So now that we have more support, it's shifting the discourse, and now the national government is looking at it as a more serious issue, and it's creating the shift that we've been wanting to see. And to speak a little bit more about the Mayors for Peace network, in 1982, the cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki established Mayors for Peace. It is a nonpartisan global network of municipalities that hold consultative status with the United Nations Economic and Social Council. And since its establishment, Mayors for Peace has expanded its membership and worked in solidarity with its member cities to call for the realization of a world free from nuclear weapons and lasting world peace. And it's led by the mayor of Hiroshima and the mayor of Nagasaki, and it's grown to 8,400 member cities and 166 countries. I will just say that when I first started working with Mayors for Peace and I learned about it, there were only about 3 cities in Albania that were part of this network. And now we have 22. So there's been an increase. And just to bring this into perspective, more policymakers and members of civil society are voicing their support for the TPNW. And this is a very positive thing that brings me joy. And I'm looking forward to seeing more momentum that will lead to Albania's signature of the treaty. And I'm currently working with Pathways to Peace to expand the program because we all understand that nuclear disarmament is a global issue. So we're looking to expand our impact and our ability to do research. So this is really the basis of our program, and I'm looking forward to more progress being made.
Well, fantastic. Thank you so much, Renora.
Amazing.
And Renora is, as you said, so when, 6 years ago or 7 years ago, I forget what it was, but then you were a young one and you've just grown a few years older, but you're from the very beginning, you're so focused and passionate, despite many odds, and look where you are now and what you have created, co-created, and the leadership that you brought to the fore. And I'm just wondering, what in all of the things that you've done, which is quite significant, what do you find has been significantly helpful in the relationship, communication, your vision, your heart? What really makes a difference?
I think first and foremost, having the support of the organization and just giving the program a chance to expand and to really to see what is possible. That's first and foremost. Collaboration is key with other organizations. I'm very thankful that you have all agreed on my idea that we should become an official partner organization of ICAN, the International Campaign to Abolish Nuclear Weapons. It has over 650 organizations from over 110 countries worldwide. And ICAN has been a strong supporter of our work. besides collaboration with other organizations, incorporating different elements of the program besides just advocacy. Research has been very important because the research has given it the backing and the significance that it needs. Because when you start putting numbers together and data and information, that's when people start to really understand the importance of this type of program. Because without that, it becomes very hard for policymakers, for governments, for parliamentarians, people in positions of power to really understand why this is important. Because before this program, I can just say the majority of people that I've spoken to, whether it's civil society organizations or members of government, they didn't even know that this treaty existed.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you've been a tremendous leader in education in that way, which is predominantly what is needed on all levels. So, well, thank you, Nora. This is fantastic. Any other questions from anybody?
I do
Oh,
have a quick question, or maybe it's not a quick question. And Renor, it's great to see you again. My apologies, you can't see me. I had the amazing privilege of getting to stand next to and hug Renor at HLPF in 2019. And you just have,
excuse me, Sheva, and say what that acronym is.
oh, High Level Political Forum at the United Nations.
Yes.
Sorry.
Right. Yeah.
Um, So, and this might be a longer question, Renor. I think you know it's been on my wish list for a while to have you come and speak about your work to our Heart Ambassador community. And I ask forgiveness up front for my ignorance, but within the treaty and the work of ICANN, is there a narrative for the objection of the concern about nuclear deterrence? And if one country refuses to join the treaty, how do the other countries involved protect themselves? Is there a narrative that can be sort of given to community members who want to advocate for this?
It's a very good question. Nuclear deterrence is always mentioned, whether it's in military alliances such as NATO, whether it's in research think tanks, or just general debate. And what we've seen is that nuclear deterrence does not necessarily solve the problems that are being brought forth. What we've seen is countries are stockpiling nuclear weapons, increasing more and more. The amount of spending that has been done for nuclear weapons has increased by over 30% within the past 5 years, from what I understand. This is a major concern. Um, the the latest research report from ICANN, and again, I'm trying to just remember the exact numbers, but the latest research report that ICANN had published on global nuclear weapons spending, it amounts to about, I think it was $250,000 per second or per minute. So when you do the math, that's a lot of money, that just for nuclear weapons itself. Billions and billions of dollars when you collectively, I think it was about over $90 billion in the past year from 9 nuclear weapon armed states. Imagine what could be done if we shift that funding to go towards humanitarian needs
Yes.
and
Yeah.
building our cities to be safer, building our communities, and addressing humanitarian needs that are very important. So, when we start to think about nuclear deterrence and we start to compare the positives and the negatives around it, there are far more negatives. And it's not proving to be effective because countries are threatening each other with nuclear threats. They're testing nuclear weapons, which then affects those communities environmentally, health-wise. So the idea and the narrative, to sum it together, the idea and the narrative of nuclear weapons has been proven to be a failure.
Thank you.
Right on.
That's great.
Yeah,
Thank
well-
you, Renor. And I just put our email in the chat because I would love to have you. We have certain members of our community who are members of ICANN. So I would love to have you come and speak to our community about this and educate us on ways that we can help. If you're up for it, just send me an email.
Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Renor.
You're
Outstanding.
amazing, Renor. You're amazing.
Yep.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much, so much. Beautiful. All righty, moving ahead, Mr. George Anthony. And Mr. Anthony, he is one of the core reasons that Pathways to Peace has an outstanding youth program, youth education program, and he's the head of our Peace Education and Youth Leadership program and our youth ambassadors, youth representatives at the United Nations. So, George, welcome. Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you, David. And it's exciting to see everyone here, especially my former student, Sylvanus. Good to see you, Sylvanus. Spent quite a bit of time with Sylvanus and his amazing team in Guinea and preparing them in the train-the-trainer format. The idea was to train them intuitively, train them specifically with incredible skills and tools, and then to go out and train other groups and communities. So when Sylvana spoke about the district training, going out and training in the districts, that my heart was just pounding. And also spending time with Renor, who's extraordinary. Renor and I came in to get together 6 years ago. I was introduced to him. He came in. His mind, his passion, his vision is extraordinary. There was a point a few years back, about 2 years back, I think I was a candidate to work with the Holy See at the United Nations with a big part of nuclear disarmament. I reached out to Renor, and it almost became a 2-week mentorship where he mentored me extensively in the matter of nuclear disarmament, where I learned so much, and I almost I became a candidate for the position because of Renor's resilience in training me. So Renor, thank you for that. I'm totally indebted to you. So yes, David opened up the meeting with the wonderful words of peace building initiatives. Much of Pathways to Peace is based upon peace building initiatives. I often say, quoting John Lewis, if not us, then who? If not now, then when? We are the passion and the heart in the world, the vision in the world. It needs to be us. This is what we do. And what I always say to Tez, that we always end every meeting with more to do, and there is always more to do. And what I try to do, my work as an educator, is to work mostly with young people, but I work with delegations all around the world, with the key of giving them the tools, and I mean truly the tools, the skills that go into their minds, into their bodies, into their hands, where they can build peace. And building peace really comes in with your physical self, as well as your spirit and your passion, what you bring to the table, what skills you train others in. And Sylvana said it very powerfully, that you have to bring peace. You have to introduce it to some people, because many people in our communities are broken. Unfortunately, they're broken because of war. They're broken because of poverty. They're broken because of the situation. And what we do is try to come in with hope and training and skills. And I remember years ago speaking with a young Palestinian student in a coexistence training I was doing with Seeds of Peace. He came to me afterwards and he said, "Where were you my whole life? All my life I was taught to go to this, and you're the first to teach me that I have choices where I can create peace and sustain peace and support peace and cultivate peace, not only in myself, but in my communities." And that always resonated with me. That always stayed with me. His words about that idea of creating peace and sustaining peace and building peace, especially in these difficult times. And much what we do in our training is to go past the positions and dive into the genesis of the narrative of why there is violence and why there is not peace, and what we can do to sort of understand how do we bring that conversation back to peace and make it real. And one of the reasons I do what I do is because a young man died here in the streets of Brooklyn. His name was Yusef Hawkins. He was a young African-American male, 16 years old. And he was killed in the streets of Brooklyn because people were offended that a young black man was walking through this specific neighborhood in Brooklyn, and they took his life. And the next day, the newspapers pretty much said he was a wrong place at the wrong time, and he died because of the color of his skin. And oftentimes I say to my colleague, I said to my colleague Linda Crestelli, when we read these headlines, I said, they have it wrong. They have it wrong. He didn't die because of the color of his skin. No one should die because of their skin color, their religion, their gender identity. No one should die for that reason. He died because some other person had such hate in their hearts that they felt they were compelled to take a life of another. Why are we talking about where that hate come from? Where it came from, how it grew in that person, and how it led to the death of this person. And we need to sort of look at it also from that direction. How do we attack that in sense? How do we get to that? How do we get to that hate when it's at the very beginning, before it builds to the violence and the death of another? And much of what we do in our training is geared towards that. One of our key components we believe in is standing up for those who stand alone, and giving your voices to the voices that are silent. And that's where a lot of the training comes into. So what we've done in the past, we worked with Guinea, which was amazing, which was mostly in the train-the-trainer, addressing effective leadership in challenging environments, creating caring communities, and also, because of Sylvanus is also a school, not just communities, but also creating caring classrooms. Create the young leaders in the classroom, and then give them out, put them into the community. When they benefit, we benefit. And this is what I've been doing with Avon Madison, my dear, wonderful, beloved friend, who stays with me every day in spirit. And I do every day with Tez, even when we connect, we catch up with everything that we've been doing. And we're taking that training into the schools. Right now, we are in 2 schools here in the tri-state area, Red Bank Catholic and the Newark School of Global Studies, where the last 2 years they have been doing amazing skill building. They've been presenting at the Commission for the Status of Women. We've been there for 66, 67, 68. We're now going to be there in 69, where their voices are going to resonate. They've also brought their voices to the high-level political forum. Just to give you an idea of some of the things they're bringing this year, systematic barriers in education. They will be speaking about this disproportionately impacting marginalized groups. Gayan Habnanian, who is now one of our UN reps, is going to talk about domestic abuse of women in developing countries. Gayan is also working with young children in Armenia, children who are impacted by war, and trying to rebuild them as young citizens of that country. We have a young male, David Akanibi from Newark, who will be speaking about redlining and how it affects women of color and marginalized women. So these are just some of the topics we'll be talking about. Other topics about Amara, who will be speaking a little bit sooner in a few short minutes about welcoming female refugees. Juliana Burns about immigrant and refugee stories and sharing their view. So this is the voices. These are the students who are present leaders. We often say tomorrow's leaders today. The key is to give them the skills today and then move away and allow them to create incredible sustainable peace, again, not only within themselves, but also within their communities as well. Other reps, Rob Schmitz is out there in Uganda right now, working on solar stoves and forestry, trying to create sustainable communities. Other reps that we're working with is Lenny Crescatelli with civil rights, Ray Anderson, with creating kindness, Mons Rosa, domestic violence. Wonderful, wonderful students. Some of the other initiatives we're working on, Tez and I, one was the Jerusalem Peace Initiative. That's sort of on a shelf, but we're trying to bring it back. And the Jerusalem Peace Initiative is working with what we call the Pathways to Peace Emerging Leaders Institute. An Emerging Leaders Institute has a few ideas. The idea is to give students certification in anti-violence leadership and effective communication strategies, mediation principles and strategies, program development, building sustainable communities based on peace building modules that we have, that we supply to Sylvanus out in Guinea. It's in Jerusalem right now. It's also throughout the United States, as well as the tri-state area. We also promoting national, international leadership, peace building, networking opportunities. Certification will be in effective communication strategies, anti-violence leadership, negotiation, mediation principles, program development, building sustainable communities based upon peace building, and mentorship. So this is what we do. It's not just words. These kids are solutions, sustainable solutions in action. And that's the key. Give them the skills, support them in these skills, give them the platforms, whether it's in their communities, whether it's at the United Nations, or whether it's on a global platform. Give them these platforms and support them. And it's always a work in progress. There's always more to do. But I've been doing this now for 37 years, and many of my students have gone on to do wonderful things. One of my students years ago, when he questioned the training, was it really applicable? Is it something that can apply? He went on to become the director, the international director for Seeds of Peace Education Department. Other of my students have gone into leadership roles, and they always say, Mr. Anthony, your skills have followed me throughout my lifetime. And that's what we try to do with Pathways to Peace, to give them the skills, specific skill sets that will follow them for a lifetime. And as a result, we benefit because of that. So we carry the spirit of Ava Madison every day in what we do. And I couldn't think of any other place I'd want to be.
Beautiful.
George, we are so blessed to have you. I just love you dearly. And it is true that the work you're doing with these next generation peace builders, the middle school, high school youth, it's just phenomenal, and so life changing for them. And then we all get to reap the benefit of your amazing training and mentorship with our youth. So thank you.
You're welcome. Well, Tess, it's like the mustard seed. If you have a mustard seed and you hold it in your hand, it just remains a mustard seed. But if we plant it, and we plant it in the students that we work with, the mustard seed grows into a plant where so many people can benefit from it. So that's part of what we do.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
You're
I'm
a
just wondering,
master.
George. Go ahead.
No, I just said he's a master, far
Oh,
more
absolutely.
than what you can imagine. George is a master at shaping
Yeah.
and forming these next generation peace builders that will carry peace forward. So,
Yeah.
Thank
You
you.
talk about sustainable peace building. This is it.
right. And
It goes
others, by
on.
the way, George doesn't just, as he said, work with youth. He works with adults that work with youth. He works with adults, but again, far ranging in impact. So thank you, George.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're an important gift to all of us. So thank you. So moving ahead,
Thanks so very much, George.
Yes.
great,
Any
great, yes.
questions for George?
Please reach out. My website
As for
is.
me,
Go ahead.
I have no question, but it's a contribution. The training that you give to us really is giving an impact here in Guinea. Really, the teachers were well informed and they are passing the message of peace across. And also, Natasha is working a peace curriculum for our new school when we start. So your teaching is not going in vain. They are really, really useful and they are bringing impact in Kenya here. People are really being judged and peace is prevailing in Kenya. So thank you so very much for that wonderful time that you took to teach us. We are so
Thank you.
grateful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Beautiful.
important to me too as well.
Yes.
Great. Thank you. Thank you both very, very, very much. So, Hezekiah, the next area is the wisdom keepers bringing peace to our world. What would you like to say about that?
Well, I
And
will. Go ahead.
Nema, I don't see her here.
Namisha, I have a video. She was working
Oh,
today.
that's it, right.
Couldn't get
Yes.
off work. So, but we did record a video that we'll share with you now. Let me know if for, oh, you know what? Let me do this again because I did forget to push the sound button. You know, share sound. It's important. There we go. Let me know if you can't hear this. And here we go with Nemisha Mehta.
Hi, everyone. My name is Nemisha Mehta, and I'm a volunteer with Pathways to Peace. Tez has passed along a couple of questions, so I thought I'd just answer them for you all. So I'm here to talk about the project that I work on, which is called the Wisdom Keepers Bringing Peace to Our World project. I've been working on this probably since about 2021 when my former classmate mentioned she was volunteering with Pathways, and I was looking for something to volunteer with and put me in touch with Tez. And so the first meeting was just, discussing what my interests were, what my current job was. At the time I was a video producer, and then immediately Tez's eyes lit up and she was like, this is great. I have a project that I've been wanting to work on. So it was just everything aligned at the right time. So that's how Wisdom Keepers came about. So basically, Wisdom Keepers is a project where we talk to elders, we record them, ask them questions, and just get, a recording to add to a repository of their wisdom, their life, things that they would like to speak about. And it's a repository that anyone can access on the Pathway site. So the first batch of recordings that we did was 11 people, I believe. And I learned a lot of things. It was a learning curve. It was the beginning of the project. So I learned kind of just, everyone's from different walks of life. And so to kind of be able to discuss things and kind of bring them out of their shells, I think that was one of the big struggles that I found in the beginning, because this is the first time I'm meeting them. I'm asking them questions about their lives, their history, their stories, their outlook on the world. And that's not something that everyone just freely discusses, right? So it's kind of, I would have a session with them initially to discuss what the plan was for the recording, warm up to them hopefully warm up to me. And then we would schedule a recording later on. And I will say that the informal time that I had with them in the first session really was beneficial, because I think I got to know a little bit about them on a personal level, and it made us feel more comfortable for the actual recording. So it's not easy to get everyone to just open up and share, but I learned some tricks along the way. So that was one of my big challenges, I think. I think that also brings me the most joy, just getting to meet people from all different walks of life and try to connect on a personal level. And that was one of my big takeaways from this entire project, is how interconnected we all are, regardless of our backgrounds, our age, everything. Everyone has so many interesting stories, and there's such a commonality between all of us, and it's really quite beautiful to see. The future of this project is basically still more recordings. I have a few recordings that I've already done, interviews with some of our wisdom keepers. Just need to get them edited. I have a whole list of other people that I'm reaching out to, and hoping to get those interviews recorded, edited, and then added to our repository. I think this is just a great project, and as I've worked through it, there's a lot of wisdom out there, I've realized, and this is amazing for future generations to be able to look on and gather wisdom from people that may have passed on eventually and stuff like that. So I think this is a great project to continue, and I can't wait to do more recordings. Thank you.
That's terrific. Another aspect of peace building is holding the larger picture, the larger wisdom that we are all part of, the wisdom of humanity. that we can grow from and share. So beautiful. So Hezekiah, would you like to introduce Amara?
Sure. Amara, we're putting you on the spot because you
Sounds
didn't
good.
say.
I'm ready.
Yes. So, what would you share about what you've learned about Pathways to Peace? Amara is a high school student who came to us via her very connected and powerful parents, and we're so grateful. She can tell you about that connection. And she came to us to assist with fundraising as an intern. But Amara is so much more than fundraising. She's absolutely incredible in terms of what she is doing in her life. And Amara, that's what I'd love you to talk about, is kind of
Sure.
what you're
Love to.
doing in your own life these days. And
Yeah.
just
Totally.
as a way of, because I always say that wisdom isn't counted by years, that our young peace builders are incredibly wise and they're doing incredible things now. It isn't that they're about the future, they are, but really they're about the now in terms of what they're doing. So go ahead, Amara, and talk about kind of who you are and what you're doing.
Sure. Hi, my name is Amara. I am in the Colorado area and I go to a leadership and entrepreneurship school. So my whole life is very focused on like how can we create innovation to further the world. And I think a lot of people think about that business wise, but I've been taking it in terms of peace building. And since joining Pathways to Peace, I've seen that there are a lot of opportunities for peace building. And for a long time, I think I thought that peace building had to come from like very high up places and people who have a lot of experience. But I realized that peace building can come from anybody at any level. And I think that's kind of been the coolest thing of like, I can make an impact and I just need to like, start with 5 minutes a day. And then you see it slowly starting to build. And you slowly start seeing it to become something like a fuel in your life. And you realize that you become a lot happier when you're serving other people. And so I am grateful for all of the opportunities to, go on any Pathways to Peace calls and meet all these wonderful people who are just doing the coolest things to help others. And I think that's beautiful. And since, joining Pathways to Peace, I recently started my own nonprofit called the Clear Initiative, which stands for the Coalition for Legal Evidence and Advocacy Reform. So we are a Colorado youth-led nonprofit focusing on ending sexual assault in the area. So we do that through legislative testimony, educational resources, and different things around awareness. So we have a motto called Speak Up, Speak Out, Make It Clear. And that's kind of like what we want people to do to end sexual assault. And they are also the names of our initiatives. So Speak Up is where we are telling the stories of people who were assaulted and helping people understand how much more common it is than they think in different situations that people might get in that might become, abusive situations and maybe they don't realize beforehand. We did a pretty big survey of like 80 respondents who talked about their experiences with assault, and almost all of them said they were under the age of 10 and didn't realize until many years later that they were assaulted. So we are really working on how can we make sure that people understand what assault is, especially at a younger age, without affecting them negatively and like making them thinking about sexual assault all the time. So that's kind of our like Speak Up campaign. We also have Speak Out, which is something that we're building, and it's legislative testimony where we have a network of survivors and experts who will come together and we can call on them to testify on bills in Colorado that might affect survivors. So they will come in and they will tell their story and what they think. And we do have to abstain from picking a side because we're going to be a 501c3 once we get our hopefully fiscal sponsorship. Maybe we'll see. I don't know. We're looking into it. But so that is our network, our legislative network, and we're starting to get some psychologists in there. We have people who run other sexual assault nonprofits in the area, and we just have volunteers from around the world who are hoping to help with that. And then we are also having our Make It Clear initiative, and that is one focusing on education, specifically like how can we build resources that are like graphics and things that make it really easy for people of all ages to understand sexual assault. So our goal long term with that one is to have school chapters that will make these resources or at least distribute them. And it'll be things like we can put them in elementary school classrooms, and it's like, this is a sign that maybe your friend needs help. So it's not directly saying like you're being assaulted, which is something that's really hard for people, but it's more so like, this is when you know you need to have someone get help. So trying to instill that in people in a young age without affecting them too negatively. And then we're looking towards educating on different resources available, legally speaking, and what are the rights of a survivor? With this new administration, what are different laws being put in place or taken away that will affect them? So just making it really easy for survivors to understand, like, this is where we are, these are my resources, this is what's available to me, this is what could happen. So just helping people understand. And that is our recent initiative. That's kind of my big life focus right now. And it's something we've been working on for the past couple of months.
Beautiful. Well, thank you. So we're so delighted that you are in our community, and that you bring what you do, and you got a future that you're going to be a very strong leader in. You are already. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys letting me talk. I'm just really excited to share. So thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you.
And the truth is, that's only a little part of Amara. She also has a huge background with immigrants and refugees. I mean, she's done a lot in her 16 years being on the planet. So we're so grateful to have her. And so, David, I wonder if you wish to set up our new approach to peace building and the fiery heart. And then I will take it from there.
Wonderful. Yes. Well, the times that we're in, the energy that we're in, it really, so many people are saying, wait a minute, this is not okay. Or how do we step forward? I mean, Pathways to Peace has been demonstrated here, has always been about peace building, but it always begins with us personally. That's where it all starts, with us personally, what we're doing in our life, and with our family, with our relationships, with our work, school, community, and bringing it out to any level that we can and choose to. So that's where it begins. But now is a particularly important time where we step forward boldly with real vision and energy, and making, as you're saying, Laura, being heard and being clear and being very strong in what we have to say, because what we have to say is this is sustainable. This is throughout history about compassion, heart, love, care. The higher vision is historic. There's no end to that. So it's really, how do we express that further? So we have an additional approach to Pathways that we're bringing this energy out. So Tezekiah, please.
So it is badass peace building, and we are bringing this out into the world. And I hope you can see the image that I've put of the fiery heart. And so in my conversations with Spirit about badass peace building, one of the powerful pieces that came through was that we need to ignite our fiery hearts. Okay? And this means about courage, it means about pure love, it means about standing in our power and speaking our own truth. And that's what's being called for at this particular time. So can you still see the fiery heart?
Yes.
Good. Because this is a very important symbol. And I'm going to take just a minute, and then we're going to take you through just a little activation. So this fiery heart symbol, I told David about. This is one piece that came through powerfully, was about igniting my fiery heart. And he immediately said, wow, You won't believe what I'm going to show you. Took me down to where this piece of art that you're seeing right now hung in his home. His partner, Irene Kai, is an accomplished and recognized artist, and she had painted this piece. And I said, it is perfect for the symbol of our badass peace building work. And then we talked with Irene, and she said, absolutely, all of her artwork is dedicated to service, and that this particular piece was actually a portal. And I see it as an activation. So as you're looking at this piece, if you have an open heart and you're ready to ignite that fiery heart within you, you will receive that activation. So maybe you wish to put your hand on your chest, the seat of your heart, and bring your focus to that image. There's your fiery heart right there. Badass peace building calls us into embracing and igniting the fiery heart within each of us. In our heart, we know it's true, that it is time to step up and to step in. Do you feel the call? We are being called to be bold, to be audacious, to be confident in the message we are charged to bring, to know that we and our work is worthy to be heard and activated. What does it take to ignite that fiery heart within you? Perhaps there are old wounds that need to come out into the light to be healed. Perhaps there are messages about appearances, how you should look, be, and act that now need to be shifted. Perhaps there is fear that you will not be approved by others, even loved ones, or that you will experience rejection. Embracing your fiery heart means coming into your own true, authentic self. You deserve to be seen and heard. Your presence and voice is needed to bring peace to our world. It's time to stand in your power and speak your own truth. The time is now to ignite your fiery heart. And I believe that's what we will leave you with today, is this image that we hope you'll carry within you, that whenever you're confronted or challenged, that you step into your own power, and that your fiery heart gives you the courage to speak your own truth and to bring peace to our world. So thank you, all of you, for being here. Thank you for the courageous work you are all doing. And thank you for being in the Pathways to Peace family. With our fiery hearts, we move forward together.
Yes. Can you bring us in gallery view, please? Yes. Thank you, Hezekiah. And to say, that was with Irene, my partner, that was her inspiration. It was a gift to bring out to the world and to all of us to move forward with it. The fiery heart.